I guess we all want to be cool. Being cool means that people are gonna like you. And if they don't, you can be sure that they're probably jealous. If you're cool, you're gonna have dates. You won't be left out and your feelings won't get hurt. People just won't mess with you. So if you learn what being cool is now, you're gonna be spared the awkward pains of teenage social life. And it's very easy to become cool. Just follow closely the cool points that we're gonna talk about in this lesson. There's nothing better to teach you about cool and being cool than jazz music. Because jazz musicians invented the term cool. And there's actually a style of playing jazz that's called the cool school. Cool can mean you better have a jacket on, or it could mean everything is all right. If it's spoken quickly and harshly, cool, it means leave me alone. But the first sign of a cool person is patience. A cool person is not going to rush all around doing this and that in a huff and in a hurry. To be cool, you have to be relaxed. Most of the time, a cool song is played at a medium or a slow tempo. And even when cool musicians are forced to play fast, they figure out how to play slower sounding notes. Now we're going to have Joe Temperley play a song entitled When Lights Are Low. Even the title is cool because semi-darkness implies relaxation. Notice the medium tempo and observe Joe's calm and unflustered way of playing. Well, that was just lovely and cool. Too cool for some. If you want to heat up a tune and get the audience all excited, turn the volume up. Just like if you want to get your parents excited, just go home and turn your stereo up. A natural excitement comes with loud music. First you play loud, then you start moving all around and dancing and swinging your horn left and right, and pretty soon everybody else is moving all around and being loud too. Well, Wycliffe is going to demonstrate this popular technique for us. You see, that got everybody excited, but it's not cool. Not cool at all. Cool music is never loud. The cool musician's philosophy is, well, let's just listen to Mr. Riley on the drums. You hear the sound of the brushes? They're telling you, shh, shh, shh. But instead of saying be quiet, they're saying be cool. Playing softly is much more difficult than it seems because soft things can easily become weak or passive, lacking in rhythm and drive. In jazz music, there's no room for weak rhythm. Swinging requires strength. Well, it's just like with a fire, or a high flame is going to burn everything up very quickly. But a low flame is going to burn things up too, but thoroughly. That's the key to playing softly and swingingly. You have to be steady and project a slow blue flame. And that blue flame is called intensity. The cool jazz musician is challenged to play softly, but with that deep-rooted intensity. One of the first cool jazz musicians was a saxophonist named Frankie Trumbauer. He wrote music and played with the cornetist Bix Beiderbecke in the 1920s. He had a very smooth lyrical sound, but it was still intense. We're going to listen to Mr. Walter Blanding playing Frankie Trumbauer's saxophone solo on I'm Comin', Virginia. Many musicians and listeners love the cool, inventive saxophone of Frankie Trumbauer. But perhaps his most important listener was the great New Orleans musician, Lester Young. Lester Young might just be the coolest man who ever lived. And like Trumbauer, he was a tenor saxophonist. Lester Young combined the hot blue of New Orleans jazz with the cool, sweet, melodic intensity of Frankie Trumbauer's style to invent another type of cool. Now, everything about Lester Young was cool. He had soft eyes. That's very important because if you have hard eyes, you go from being cool to cold. He spoke softly and with a soulful lilt, inventing his own way of speaking. He even held his horn at a different angle and didn't move an inch when playing. You wouldn't see him dancing all around with his horn. You can't be cool doing all of that. Lester lived in his own world, a lyrical world with pretty melodies. Now, when I say he made pretty melodies, melodic means something you will want to hum or whistle or sing. Very simple, not complicated. And lyrical is the way that you play the melody. It's like giving someone a flower. Well, the flower would be the melody. But the way that you give them the flower, you could say, here, take this. Definitely not lyrical. Or you could say, this reminds me of you. Sweet, to the point, lyrical. Now we're going to have Walter play something lyrical and melodic in the style of Lester Young, George Gershwin's Lover Man. Those who are cool live in a world of their own creation, and their world is never harsh. It's always calm and full of subtlety. Now, I know you all may not know what subtlety means. Well, subtlety just means highly nuanced. And when you're around someone who is cool, they make you feel that their world is much hipper than yours. And for you to enter it, you too must be cool. Cool almost to freezing point. In the 1940s, a new style came about in jazz. It was called bebop. It was definitely a hot style. It was made popular and great by the musicians Charlie Parker and Dizzy Gillespie. They played a lot of notes at fast tempos with a lot of figurations. Ironically, Charlie Parker's greatest influence was the cool Lester Young. It was said at one time when Parker was a young man, he knew every Lester Young solo on record. But he took the music in his direction, which was a lot more complicated and fast. Pretty soon, all of the musicians wanted to play bebop. Hot was in, and cool faded into the distance. Let's hear an example of bebop. Musicians just loved playing bebop with its fast tempos and gymnastic leaps. Even the bass players had a chance to show off. But soon, all of the fast playing had people dizzy. There was a desire for slow and more romantic music. The stage was set for a return of the cool, the modern cool. Now we're going to listen again to the song we opened this lesson up with, So What, by the father of the modern cool, Miles Davis. When some music is cool, you don't hear a lot of hollering and shouting. Nothing extreme. And cool people are like that too. So if you want to be cool, no crying. Too cool to cry. No screaming or making loud noises. No laughing even. A cool person can tell a funny joke, but you'll never see them laughing at it. They watch you laugh. Cool people just don't show emotion. Now that doesn't mean they don't have emotion. Well, it's like the old saying, still waters run deep. It's not moving at the top, but there's a whole lot going on way, way down inside. When your emotions are on the surface, you're called extroverted. When your emotions are deep inside, you're called introverted. Introverted people are given to what we call introspection. Introspection means that you're thinking about your own personal innermost thoughts and feelings. The embodiment of introspection and the father of the modern cool was Miles Davis. In 1949, he recorded an album entitled The Birth of the Cool. The recording featured interesting arrangements by people like Gil Evans, John Carisi, and great baritone saxophonist Jerry Mulligan. Miles was just the essence of cool. He had a raspy voice, and he couldn't speak loud even if he wanted to. He rarely spoke more than 3 or 4 sentences at a time. And sometimes, when asked a question, he wouldn't give any answer at all. You can't get any cooler than that. That's frozen. And his playing was the same way. It was sparse. He played short themes, took his time. Let's hear Jerry Mulligan's Jeru from The Birth of the Cool. Now, this music was not the ultimate cool because it still had many elements of bebop, fast lines and whatnot. The modern cool was actually a response to bebop. A lot of bebop musicians played fast, 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 high, high, high. Miles and company said slow, 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 low, low, low. The cool musicians like to hold on to notes for longer periods of time. They let the color of the sound carry the emotion of the music. For example, most jazz musicians used vibrato to create feeling and motion in a note. Vibrato is just the way that you shake a note. Here's an example of a song entitled Bye Bye Blackbird, played with a lot of vibrato. Miles Davis made this song into a cool anthem. He played the melody without any vibrato. Then, to make it even cooler, he put a harmon mute on the trumpet to create an even softer and more delicate tone. A mute will generally cool things down because it dampens one's tendency to overstate. Let's listen.